But I think everyone wants the benefits of being in the village, but no one wants to be a villager. Like, it takes a village to raise a child, but also takes a village to be a good friend.
Is to stop seeking validation from people that do not even bring any influence towards my life.
You know, why should she be like losing hair? Why should she be losing mobility for me to believe that she truly is deserving of my donation? Or for me to just hear her out? Because sometimes I don't think people share these things to get a donation or sympathy. Like what you went through, right? When you said you felt very alone. People sometimes just want to talk. Good afternoon, my big stars, and happy Tuesday. It's probably 3 o'clock for most of you who are dedicated viewers, listeners, subscribers. And it is me, the brightest star, Lethabo Maluke, the host of your favorite podcast, Young Popular and Opinionated. In the words of the artist Dean Hutton, this podcast is a soft space for hard conversations. And what's harder than today's conversations? Also, I just wanted to give a bit of background on that. Guys, I've actually met Dean Hutton. I met them while I was working on an exhibition. So I heard these words while interviewing them for a completely different thing, way before the podcast was started. And while they were seated on the couch, and we were specifically asking them about how their disability relates to their ability to create art and what that means to create art for people with accessibility issues. And they said the artwork itself, it was Soft Venus, is a soft space for a hard conversation. And that just stuck with me because it spoke about the appropriateness of who gets to come into space, which body is appropriate, which health is appropriate. And I just love that. And you know, I always say, what's harder than today's conversation? Because I think the conversations get harder and harder each week. I think as the episodes progress, we are really finding our feet on this podcast. We're really finding our objective and really getting good at achieving our goals. Because what did we say? We didn't want this to be a place for gossip. We wanted to platform people who really deserve not only the airtime, but an opportunity to share their thoughts with us, because this is a community effort. The same way you guys have supported my efforts in creating and launching my TikTok page, that's what I want this podcast to be. So before we get into it, we have a very special guest with us. I know we're doing rotations, right? We're doing people that you voted, but also, for those of you who do not know, you are also allowed to request to be a guest on Young Popular and Opinionated. And this is the first guest request that we have, and we're with Sher. How are you doing today?
I'm all good, hey? How about you?
I am tired. I think I told you before we started recording that, like, I've had a very busy week. But you've had a busy week too.
Likewise, it makes the two of us.
So obviously the people know about me. I mean, they've been following me for like at least a year now. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm 20 years by age. Currently, I am working, and I'm also a student. And I'm also working on my advocacy for childhood cancer.
Exactly. And that's what we're here to discuss today. Because I don't think a lot of people, I didn't know either until you literally emailed me that September is globally recognized as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. It's also called Gold September.
True.
And even in South Africa, it's been acknowledged by the Department of Health, right? Because I think whenever people try to advocate for health, there's stigma, yes, but there's also undiagnosis. There's underdiagnosis, because I think people don't really know how to spot symptoms of so many illnesses. This is not just limited to cancer. Like, I think when you think about HIV itself, people still think they can do those weird eye tests where I can see it, but never really reading up on what it actually means to be living with the virus. And that goes for so many other things, you know? And I think I wrote here, right? I wrote here as well, because people know that there's a ribbon for HIV that's red, but there's also a gold ribbon for this month. And this ribbon symbolizes hope, resilience, just like what I said, the fight against underdiagnosis. And I mean, the Childhood Cancer Foundation of South Africa literally encourages people to be, mindful of the symptoms like lumps, persistent fever, unexplained bruising, right? But also they acknowledge the fact that some people might not have the privilege, depending on the community you're placed in, to get the accurate attention, But I want to start with you. Before we get into all of that stuff, I want to talk about your personal journey, right? Yes, I know it's a very difficult thing, and I applaud your bravery and wanting to, I guess, share this time and space with us. Like, I feel very privileged because something that really bothers me about our current, I don't know, is it political state? I don't know, is that personal stories are not valued, right? And I don't know how you feel about that, but we have all this academic language, we have all these statistics, but we are so detached from these issues because we can't put a name to a face. We can't put a disadvantage to a person. We can't put a struggle to a person. It's just numbers. But you're here with me. You're not just a statistic. You're a real person.
Yeah.
So how does that make you feel?
Well, I like that, the fact that I'm part of it. But I thought to myself when I was alone, I was like, okay, so you're in this situation and I'm a number to them. How about I also convert it to be like, as much as there's a number of the beds, there's also a number of the goods.
Yeah.
So I was like, with all that I have, how about I try to sort of reach that number whereby like I am cured, yes, well, other people didn't know that some cancers do have cure. So I was like, since I have that, how about I try to maybe like do something good out of it, you see?
Yeah. And speaking about the cure, I think people need to understand what you were diagnosed with. And you were diagnosed with stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma, right? So can you walk us through the moment you received your diagnosis and I guess what emotions and thoughts went through your mind? Before we get into everyone else, I just want to know your personal feelings about it.
Guys. My heart sank because it all started when I was in grade 12.
Okay.
Right? So in grade 12, it happened that I started. So Hodgkin's, you could see it with like certain lumps.
Okay.
So I had a lump on my neck.
Yes.
And it even shows on my ID, and I'm like, anyways. Yeah. So I would see that slump, and then it happened at school. Then everyone was like, "Shit, what's happening?" Yes. And then I was sent to the principal's office. One thing led to the other. I went to the clinic. Then there's the ambulance there.
Oh my gosh!
So
it went from like 0 to 100 very quickly,
just like that. Then I found myself at Far East Hospital.
Okay.
And I did not get any sort of assistance whatsoever because everyone neglected me, thinking that it's not lethal as they thought.
Oh.
Right. So I left the hospital. Yes, I have a file there, but there's nothing on my records, due to negligence, being like, man, it's just a swelling, you see. And then after that, fast forward, I went to Cape Town. I was studying LLB law.
Okay.
4th-year program. Ooh. So with that, that's when everything sort of changed as well with me. I'd like quickly get tired, maybe like not even like finishing a chapter, but then I'd be like exhausted and drained. Then the fever came in, and then the loss of appetite. I didn't see how much weight I lost until I would see that like a lot of my clothes, like not even half, like almost everything does not fit me anymore.
Okay.
And you're in Cape Town, you want to be like drip everything. And I'm like, what's happening?
Oh my God. Like, were you also a victim of the Cape Town swag apocalypse?
Oh, like there, it's like everyone is dripping.
I get
there,
it.
You see?
It's very classist, yes, but there's a culture of, I don't know, high-end fashion, high-end aesthetics. It's also very cliquey. So I understand that. Like, I think that
influential as well.
You're absolutely correct. I think that was one of the reasons why I didn't choose to study anywhere in the Western Cape. From a financial point of view, I knew I wouldn't be able to keep up with the lifestyle. I said no. took my L and just didn't go.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Because I couldn't keep up as well.
Yeah.
But then after that, I started going to clinics and hospitals. So during recess, I came back home, and then I was actually misdiagnosed.
Oh, okay.
To tuberculosis, TB. Everyone was like, oh yeah, you have TB. And then I went back to Cape Town knowing that I have TB.
Yes.
So I took all of my treatments. So remember, each and every medication have some sort, okay, except for vitamins. Each and every medication has some sort of a side effect.
Yes.
So also that drained me as well to be like, okay, I'm being diagnosed or misdiagnosed with TB. I'm taking the medication for it, and it's wrong. And the side effects were also killing me.
How, if you don't mind sharing, what was like some of the side effects?
Okay, so I'd get nauseous.
Okay.
You know, I had a severe diarrhea.
Oh,
severe.
okay.
It was so bad that I couldn't even like go to any classes and lectures because I needed to be like ah. And then I did mention the loss of appetite,
Yes.
you know, and then the bruises, you know, like I would have like certain bruises, and then I wouldn't understand like where do those come from. So those were certain contributing factors to it. And on top of that, it's the medication that I'm also taking as well because it's wrong, right? And then it started with one of my leg. I started limping, you know. And then I just woke up, then I just couldn't walk.
Oh my gosh.
So what happened was that, you know, I was walking well, fine. And then I was at Tygerberg Hospital.
Okay.
That's where they found out that actually I have cancer, you see. So what happened was me being the isolation room, I'm also reflecting about everything that's happening to be like I'm far away from home and all of those things taking place. And then after that, my mom also pulled through, and they put us one time in a certain doctor's office, and then he was like, "You're diagnosed with cancer." And I didn't take the news well. You see, there's denial, you know. There's all of those type of things to be like, you know.
Yeah, which was the next thing I wanted to ask, because obviously you're processing it in your body, like your body is physically sick, but obviously there's emotions tied to it. You know, there's this hopelessness because you are so young. Your life hasn't started. You know, you're supposed to be starting, because I feel like even once you've graduated from university, your life still technically hasn't started. And when you get this diagnosis, sometimes it can feel like a death sentence. So from an emotional point of view, how did you process that? And did you have like any support to hold your hand through it? Because it's a very big thing. Because even with myself, I think grew up viewing cancer as like something that affects older people. That if it were to knock on my door or on the door of a person I love, it's probably in the next 50 years. I still have time. We still collectively have time. And so it's like, how do you deal with that emotionally? How do you, because that's the thing, getting a diagnosis, getting access to treatment doesn't mean, you know, your mind is ready to process it and wake up and go do it. How do you process that? Like, I'm very curious.
So, you know, one of the HRs, when they were interviewing me, they sort of asked me that question, and then it triggered me because, you know, once you're in a corporate work field or environment, industry, you sort of expect that they will ask you about the qualities that you have that you might contribute towards the company.
Yes.
And then it triggered me, and then I was like, I sort of haven't processed this thing.
Yeah.
So what I would do, I would picture it as if I'm in like an endless nightmare.
Okay.
And then I would sit and be like, if I was to be diagnosed with cancer, what would you do? Mm-hmm. And then I would act upon that. And then I'd be like, oh, but you are diagnosed with cancer. So it's sort of like that denial type of thing, but being like, okay, being in denial, it's one-sided. How are you going to deal with it, you see? So I sort of haven't emotionally processed it yet. But now, since I can speak about it to like anyone to be like, I was there.
Oh, like been there, done that. Like walk in the park.
The chemos, the radiation therapy. I'm like, oh, you're doing that. Oh, Nice. And I know it's hard. Yeah.
Because, like, in fact, that was the next thing I wanted to ask. And I'm glad you mentioned that, right?
Okay.
Because, okay, but before I do that, I just also wanted to ask from a platonic and like a familial point of view, how does this diagnosis reshape your relationships to your family, to your friends, but also to people your age, right? Because I think there's so many things, especially when South Africa is going through one of the worst economic times, where we place ourselves in comparison to other young people, right? For one person, it could be the fact that they have to go protest to get access to accommodation and to have their fee block lifted because their parents can't afford to take them and NSFAS or their bursary hasn't paid on time, right? But in your case, it's you have people your age who are, you know, not dealing with any health issues. They're coughing from a flu and then they just go on with their lives. But also in your family as well. Like, does it make your family more paranoid, more protective? Does it also isolate you? Because here's another thing. We still have misinformation and people thinking cancer is contagious. Like, they think cancer is like COVID. If a person with cancer coughs in, like, you know, within a certain distance from me, I get cancer, which is not true. But how does that redefine your relationships with the people around you?
Okay, I'll answer it with two answers.
Yeah.
I'll give you with my friends, and then I'll give you with my family.
Anything.
My family was supportive.
Okay.
I have a very supportive system.
I'm glad.
You know, that even now, they know that I was shooting something, but then they didn't know that I'd be like in Midrand, I'd be like out and about, you know. If it was the case, like my phone would like blow up.
Okay.
Where are you? Like, what's happening?
Yes.
I'm like, Ma, like, you know, like I'm growing up. It's
You
fine.
still need
Can
access
ease
to a
off.
life.
Yeah. And me moving out because I stay alone now, it also came with like a lot of like, of which I would tell them while I was still like on my wheelchair to be like, you know, once I start taking those 5 steps, I'm leaving you guys.
Wait, you were once in a wheelchair?
When I, like, yeah.
At its peak.
Oh,
Or-
yeah.
okay.
Because stage 3, you know, there are stages. The
Yes.
higher the stage, the lethal it is.
Okay.
I sort of learned that today during my checkup.
Okay.
Before coming here. That's also being it love because they were busy like inserting certain needles.
Yeah.
But anyways, when it comes to my friends, so I sort of didn't get that support system that I would maybe expect. And then I was like, maybe I'm expecting too much, you see? Because most of my friends are like, okay, send a 5,000 more. So like control. And then I was like, guys, I'm going through the most, you know, and I feel like most of them, they were not there, you know. Okay. And even now, and I'm okay, I still sort of distance myself. Yeah, we talk, but I'm like, you know. And then some, they were there, you know, we would like wake up together midnight, pray, they would, you know, ask how's everything happening. And I wouldn't even see them. I haven't seen them for about 4 years, but the communication is like deep, you know, to be like, yeah, look, what's happening? You know, are you okay? Are you good? What do you need? You see? So it's sort of open-ended with that one, you know. I sort of got to see which one is my realest friend and which one is not. Especially in Cape Town, I have like lost all contact with all of them because they were like, I dropped out to them. Then life moved on for them.
Because I don't think you are asking for too much or demanding too much. Like, I know we joke and say the price of community is inconvenience, but I think everyone wants the benefits of being in the village, but no one wants to be a villager. Like, it takes a village to raise a child, but also takes a village to be a good friend. And I don't think a friend going through a tragedy, especially one that involves their health, is like an opportunity for you to distance themselves. And I feel very sorry that you felt that way and went through that, because I think it's so easy to befriend someone when you're both in a good space. in terms of finances, in terms of health, in terms of so much, right? But those are very surface level things. Like at the end of the day, what I remember the most about my friends and their impact is when I was crying and how that they made me feel through those tears. When I was lonely, how they made me feel. And I think it's quite disappointing that for certain people, it's simply like well, you're going through what you're going through, and I'm going to go through what I'm going through. Because not only does it make you lonely and leaves you in a corner, but you start to wonder if something is wrong with you when that's just not the thing. That's not the case, right? You're not supposed to wonder if something is wrong with you when you're not in control of your circumstances. That should never be a thing. And something that's very frustrating to me as well is that I think right now, and you'll learn as time goes by, that when you get to adulthood, you need to be very careful, right, with friends, because I think it's not about it's not always about the right friends, the wrong friends will lead you astray, but you become a cumulative version of all the people you interact with and all the people you love. And sometimes you become a cumulative version of selfish people, people who don't care, people who are cold and isolated. And it often exposes how they feel about themselves. You know, if they were going through a personal tragedy, how would they think about themselves, firstly? Would they think there's something wrong with them? Would they openly reach out to people? Because I don't think anyone should feel like a burden. Like, I think you should naturally want to talk to your friend. Like, I just got diagnosed with this, or I was in a car crash, I just lost my mom, I just lost my job. Or even if it's the good news, you should naturally feel inclined to share that with the people you love. When the people you love make it very hard, you know, for you to have a safe space where you feel like you can easily and freely give out these things, then it weighs on them. It's not on you. It's and I want you to know that, coming from me, that it really isn't on you, and that with time you will get past the isolation. You know, you will find the right people, the right community that doesn't come at a very weird price, because I think people are very weird. Like, I think
Big time.
so unbelievably weird.
Big time.
So unbelievably weird, but it will come. It will come, because here's another thing I hate, right? This also applies to mental health, because we have friends that go through depressive seasons, anxious seasons, and we're going to have friends that are going to get diagnosed. Like, I have a friend, he was our first guest, and not so long ago, he got diagnosed with both autism and bipolar disorder at the same time. And just like you, it was initially a misdiagnosis, right? The first one, it was just like the doctor saying, I just think you have a very severe case of ADHD. I think you have a very severe case of just, you know, being mentally absent. You're just dazed, right? And I think they also went through periods of isolation where I felt like him and I were very disconnected. But it's not about me. It has nothing to do with me. Like, this is not about me, like, right? And then you get people saying, I hate friends that are always going through something. And it's like, again,
Yeah.
terrible.
Very
Terrible
Very
way
bad.
to look at it. What do you mean you hate friends that are always going through something? But also the people who are not okay. Because the thing is, obviously, I know that you have explained that you lost contact with some, and how some just were more fixated on you being their Cape Town bestie who's living it up, and like, you know, you're rich, like you like, because that's also something I want to ask, like from that point of view, do you sometimes feel guilty for having a good time and enjoying life,
Okay.
like post healing or just in general?
If I was to be asked like such a question,
Yes.
I don't, hey?
Yes.
I really don't.
It's great.
Because as much as at Cape Town there are my worst moments ever,
Yes.
I also try to embrace what I did, and I actually genuinely had fun there. You
Yeah.
see? But looking back, I feel like the current life that I'm living compared to the one that's there at Cape Town, I feel like the current one, it's like great.
It's way better.
It's way much better. The financial stability it's not 100%.
Yeah.
But then, like, I'm free. As much as the workload is like 3 times than Cape Town, having to juggle my advocacy, school and work at once. Yeah, I'm like still trying to navigate that, and I think I'm doing a good job. So I'm like, it's okay. You live by the moment, and you make sure that like you get the most out of it, be it at your worst state or the best state that you're in. If you feel down or sad, it's okay. It's gonna pass.
It is.
And then if you're in your happiest state or phase, like embrace it.
Enjoy it because
Period.
you've earned it. And even if you hadn't earned it, I don't think happiness is something we should always have to earn.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something we should always have to earn. Life is hard, man. Now I want to talk about the treatment and challenges. So I had jotted down in my notes, I think a week ago. Let me look for it, right? Because I think I also want our viewers to understand what Hodgkin's lymphoma is, right? So it's a cancer of the lymphatic system, and the lymphatic system is part of your immune system, guys, right? And it helps you fight infections. So it originates in lymphocytes, which is a white blood cell, and it is characterized by the presence of Reed-Sternberg cells, right? The large abnormal cells. And it's one of the more treatable cancers. It has high survival rates, but again, it's not a one-size-fits-all, right? But also diagnosis and the time, like what you said about the different stages and how that plays a role. So I want to talk about, I guess, the stage 3, right? Because when I was doing my reading on it, it says that stage 3 indicates that the cancer has spread to your lymph nodes on both sides of your diaphragm, like what you said about getting lumps around your neck, right? And it may also involve your spleen and other organs it could spread to. And like what you said, a fever, the night sweats, the weight loss, the fatigue, the itching, right? And I'm also shocked to learn that you also lost part of your mobility.
Yeah,
right?
which is rare for someone to.
Like it affected your mobility and your, like, I guess your body was no longer able, So I just want to, I guess, learn about that. I want to know what your treatment experience was like, how you coped with the physical and emotional toll of chemotherapy or radiation. Like, I want to start there.
Okay. So when it comes to that, right, there's non-Hodgkin's and Hodgkin's.
Okay.
So with Hodgkin's, even it's not necessarily your neck. It can happen on your underarm, and then internally, you might have lymph nodes on like your stomach,
yes,
the colon as well, of which there were certain parts whereby they found that.
Yes.
So when it comes to my mobility, it happens that I lost my nervous system.
Oh, okay.
There. And then it was weird, man. Like, yes, I couldn't feel my legs,
Yes.
But then I could feel the pain,
Okay.
So the hope was that as long as you feel a certain sense of pain, then definitely there's something that's alive there.
Yes.
You see, so me feeling pain at some point, it was like, okay, at least there's that little hope that like I could still walk. So emotionally, I had social workers.
Yes.
I also received therapy treatment, and they all helped. They literally helped. Like when it comes to me losing people that I thought they were like my genuine friends because of this, and then even you sort of explained to be like, no, there are those people, Yeah. So I got to learn about that as well. You see, and a good support of people. It's not your family only, but the doctors that were with me, the social workers, the campaigns that I've worked with as well,
Yes.
your CHOC, your Rainbows and Smiles, your Reach for a Dream, they all were there for me, to make sure that like everything, like the whole journey is a smooth journey for me.
Okay.
So I feel like for you to emotionally cope with the diagnosis, be it cancer, HIV, anything, like, you know, you just need a genuine support system, you know. So I was fortunate enough to get that, you know. And then when it comes to the stages, the common ones whereby you could get some sort of a cure, it's your first stage and second stage. Really enough, stage 3, stage 4, because my skin was also turning pale.
Oh my god!
I was using tissue oil. I was using this. I was using that. I was using I used so many products, and then I couldn't I'd rub it in, especially on my legs.
Yes.
And then maybe 5 minutes later, I would see that okay, I'm pale now. You know, so I think with that as well, it sort of makes one to lose hope. You know, but then you can get some sort of a cure, but then it comes with a price. My radiation therapy can cause blood cancer. So as much as I have cure for this, I'm still at risk to get blood cancer, you know. And it's not that it goes with the genetics, because both my mom's side and my dad's side, no one had cancer. So it can happen to everyone. So maybe those stigmas and myths about it. But then now I'm a bit I don't even want to touch the question if I want to have kids.
Okay.
For now, because I know.
Are you terrified of
Yeah,
that?
I don't want them to experience that.
Do you feel like there will be a genetic inheritance or predisposition to it?
Yeah, because when it came to my doctors,
Yes.
they didn't want to tell me the actual thing, to be okay, this is what could happen. I found out today during my treatment that they were you know, you survived, you know. And I was oh, it was that bad, you know, because maybe they just wanted to enlighten that spark of hope in me to be everything's going to be okay, of which it worked out very much well. So same as with the kids, you know, they sort of don't want to touch it, to be
Yeah, because also you received your diagnosis at a very young age.
Yeah.
As I said, we see it as this old people thing. And they see it well, I'm in my 60s, I've had time to live. But they need to give you the hope that you still have a life to live. And I like that. I don't know. I applaud that. I think it's very scary, to be brave. Being brave is scary. Being brave is not an easy thing to do, because, I don't know, waking up and fighting in the face of adversity is exhausting. It's exhausting. It's easier. And I think especially with how cancer is treated, as the social attitudes towards cancer, people do this very weird thing, this is my fight song, and just lift their hand and say, that's all I'm doing. But they don't understand when death or the possibility of it is looming around you, how scary that is. But I'm glad, you know, I'm glad that happened, and I'm glad that you had all these people, I guess, pouring into you, pouring into your journey, and pouring into hope of the fact that you will live through this, right? Because, I don't know, I've seen treatment not, because my uncle's wife, she had cancer, and it was what you're saying, that the treatment could cause a different type of cancer. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened to her. When she first started getting treated, she was actively getting better. And we saw her more and more at family gatherings, at events. She was hosting things. She was moving. She was traveling. She was trying to live. But unfortunately, the treatment made her worse. And
okay, for that, my diet was strict.
Okay.
I had a very, very, very strict diet.
Okay. Tell us about that.
So, for me, because with my peers that I met at the oncology clinic,
yes.
You know, they didn't start with me. They started earlier, but then I completed first.
Okay.
Than the others, you see. But then I saw that they have also completed, because I did not see them at the oncology when I went there. So, my diet was so different, even with my upbringing. I'm considering how I was vegan for over a decade. I think it was about 14 years. You know? So that also played a role in me not eating meat as well. So it was something that was simple for me to adapt. They're no red meat, and I was oh, okay, cool. Then they're no, there's no. Even now, you know, I'm not receiving any treatment, but I'm taking like my supplements, my multivitamin supplements, your omega-3, just to make sure that like indeed I am okay,
Okay.
So it mostly lingers around what someone consumes, because like you said, which is true, that my cancer was internally, and my white cells, they were not there. Like, okay, well, not they were not there, but they were like, the ratio of my red cells compared to white cells was a bit low.
Yeah.
My white cells were very much low, so I needed to like...
Which is essential for fighting off new infections.
So I welcomed like, certain infections, like I could easily get colds and flu, I could easily like sweat, I could easily get diarrheas, like I did mention, So just follow a strict diet, and then everything may be like working out. But remember, you also have to take into consideration that other cancers may require you to like eat certain types of meat as well.
Okay.
So it's not that like if this did worked out for me, then it's gonna work out for the next person. I'm not a fan of energy drinks and Coca-Cola.
Yes, you told me earlier on when I was downing that Red Bull.
Like,
oh my god.
And I was like, side eye. It still triggers me a little to be like, hey.
Yes.
Because I just find other people in the oncology like have like your fizzy drinks, and then I'll be like, ish, man, ish.
Also, they have high sugar content, high caffeine content. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so maybe it works out well for them, but then for me, it didn't work out, So I had to like cut on dairy as well.
Oh, why?
For that period of time, I also did cut off dairy. Right now, I can't go to sleep without a glass of milk.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
So by that time, though, like I remember, I had just a simple margarita pizza.
Okay.
Huh?
Did it just make you ill?
It made me ill. Like it's sort of like my parents were also like anxious, being like, okay, now we're going to start from scratch again. Like, what's going to happen, Even the juices that I drank.
So how did it specifically affect you? Like, how did it make you sick? Like,
remember I said I have lymph nodes on my colon, right?
Yes.
So they sort of had like that swelling,
because of the dairy.
Yeah. So I cut off dairy for that period of time. Even now, I don't venture deep into them.
Okay.
But yeah, dairy as well, your red meat, but some other meats like your white meat, your fish, omega-3, they are okay,
Okay.
And another thing is that as much as people think that cancer is like specifically, it's a custom-made sickness or illness that only affects the older people.
Yes.
I saw people that are way much younger than me. Even today when I went there, like I saw like a lot of younger people. And that triggered my emotional side of me, because seeing that kind of thing, number one, you're a COVID baby. So already your learning schedule or your literacy has been affected, because there is that sort of study that says like the COVID time was like the least academic time,
Yeah.
So,
and even in South Africa, like, don't like, if I'm quoting the statistic accurately, aren't more than 80% of people not reading past like a grade 4 level? There's a literacy and comprehension.
Like your grade 8, like, guys, because I have my friends, they are teachers, right? And they always complain to me about their grade 8.
Same.
Like,
my friend is also a teacher, and her mom is a teacher, and she was like, the kids can't read.
So it runs in the family.
She's like, the kids cannot read. She's like, the kids cannot read. But what's even scarier is that their parents can't read either. Like, that's what's even...
So that also runs in the family as well.
Exactly. Like, their parents can't read either, and it's terrifying. But I hear what you're saying. Because babies can get cancer too.
They can, guys. And it does not mean that, like, it's something that, like, it's in the genetic. It just happened, And I sort of want to sympathize with them, to be like, look, it's going to be okay. But I reserve myself because they're just free, They're like, I'm going to go and get my chemo. And I'm like, man.
Because they're not, I think when you get older and you go through like an existential crisis and like the actual cost of you dying.
Yeah.
But they don't know
They don't know that. And I feel like they also could find certain people or peers or other kids that they could relate to as well.
Yeah.
You know, that also plays a major role to like you feeling better, you know, because we would even joke about it to be like, oh, another shot of chemo. There's the one that's called Red Devil.
Okay.
So then the nurses and sisters, they'd be like, it's time for Red Devil. And then sometimes you would not get the Red Devil and we'd be like, okay, so you're out of the woods for the time, you know?
Yeah.
We would like joke about it. It was like, for me, guys, it was not like that, like, sad experience. You know, when I'm like, I was on diagnosed with cancer. And then you do something, and then you'd see maybe with the coronavirus, or someone be like, whoa, you know?
But you also don't, I think you're not obligated to be like doom and gloom about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think when people are going through things, they have to audition their pain a lot. And I don't like that. Like, if you are going through cancer, you must constantly prove to us. It's also what I hate about, you know, when people are asking for like donations for like at the start of the year to clear their fees. And then people,
I don't have parents.
and then people ask them to beg, like, oh my gosh, like, do you not have parents? What is your, and I'm just like, people are allowed to go through horrible things with a smile on their face if they want. I don't think people constantly have to re-audition their pain to us and reprove their pain to us. Like, you must prove to me that for me to take the fact that you're living with cancer or moving through cancer seriously, you must be crying. And Thabo, I'm so, like, I don't think so. I think that's very, it's like that girl who was asking for donations to go to a matric farewell, and she is redoing her matric. And everyone is like, oh, why the hell do you feel the need to go to a matric farewell if you failed? And trigger warning, mentions of sexual violence and rape. And she was like, the real reason why she didn't finish matric was because in that year she was assaulted and she was paralyzed by the assault. And it's, in my opinion, I'm like, I don't think someone has to re-traumatize themselves just to make me,
or relive that thing as
just
well,
to make me a stranger believe that they were in
Yeah.
pain. Like, they must tell me, because that's the thing, whether I care or not, I'm going to go home and sleep. I probably won't remember them, but they'll remember that forever. And also, if I'm not going to donate, why do they need to prove?
Why is the urge to even comment such
Yeah,
things,
why,
you know?
right? Because it's
Exactly.
even with people that ask for donations related to health. Like, I've seen a video of this woman who is also, I forgot the type of cancer she has, but she was asking for donations because she cannot afford the treatment, right? And there were people in the comments saying, but you look so healthy.
Which
like,
is what I
you
get
look-
time and again to be like,
You
are
look,
you sure?
But you
And I'm
look
like,
so healthy. But like, look at you. You're all dolled up. You're wearing this pretty blue dress. Are you sure you have? And I'm like, what does it take for you guys to care? Do you get what I'm saying? And it's a very weird way to look at it because, again, why must she audition her illness to me to prove that? Also, again, if you don't want to donate, don't donate. But
and don't even say anything.
But also, are we not in the business of early diagnosis and treatment? Why are we only in the business of caring about it once the doctors are even scared to tell you where you stand? You know, why should she be like losing hair? Why should she be losing mobility for me to believe that she truly is deserving of my donation? Or for me to just hear her out. Because sometimes I don't think people share these things to get a donation or sympathy. Like what you went through, right? When you said you felt very alone. People sometimes just want to talk. Sometimes they just want an ear. They just want someone to hear. Like, they don't even want a response. They just want to be able to say exactly what they're feeling without feeling like apologizing for what they're feeling, for going through it, right? And I think that's, you know, so I don't think you should feel guilty if you feel like if someone asks you and you're not sad and you have a smile on your face and you're like, yeah, like
I think maybe they expect maybe to me like to break down and cry about it, of which I have multiple times. But then like once you're over it, like, you know, like it's okay. Like, don't even like expect me maybe to be like skinny or maybe to like my hair loss, of which now I'm so much insecure like with my hair, you know, considering the amount of hair that I've pretty much lost. And it does not mean that all chemos, there are side effects, it's hair loss.
Yes.
That's actually a myth, because I lost certain parts of my hair, but then other parts they didn't. Maybe because of my diet, I don't know. I don't know. I really, really don't know, you know. So like they expect me to sort of maybe like have that sort of thing to be like, okay, cry about it, break down, you know. Do you want a hug? You know, that's what I usually. Do you want a hug? Oh, and I'm like,
oh my God. Do you want a hug? Listen, I hug everyone. You should ask the people in the studio. Everyone, everyone
I noticed.
Everyone gets a hug from me. I love hugging. So if I hug you, please don't ever think I'm coming on some
I
weird
saw once we interacted, you know, and you like sort of picked me out from the people to be like, okay, maybe like this is the guest, and then you approached me with a hug, which was quite genuine. Like I felt that, like it's genuine.
I'm such a hugger. Like, I'm such a hugger, and sometimes I wonder if people feel comfortable. Or like the thing is, I don't do handshakes. I don't dab me up. I'll slap you. Like,
or if I be like,
I'll be like, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, don't dab me up. Like,
so what if people like you hug them, ne? And then they have the wrong idea of it.
Like what? Like I'm flirting. So am I flirting with everyone in the studio? Am I flirting with everyone in the studio? Mind you, I don't do that. Like I don't.
But it would be sus if you all of like you handshaked us, all of us, and then you hugged that specific person.
Soze, hey? Soze. Oh, Soze. I'm telling you right now, that will never happen. Especially from me. Never. There will never be one person who's gonna get a hug from me, but you know what it is? It's also why I get accused of like dating my friends all the time, because
so you get that, ne?
Because I have I think I have a baseline, and it's like I'm super obsessed with every single person I love, right? So sometimes it comes across as me being in love with them. Like I've been accused of. At first, I just thought maybe this friend and I have chemistry, but no, I've been accused of dating like 7 of my friends. So the common denominator is me. Like clearly, I'm doing something.
Nah, but it's just the way you are.
Yeah.
You know? Like if you friendly to that, like I feel like it also has to do with someone the way they interpret it. Like it says a lot. It speaks volume if someone interprets it as like you wanting someone instead of friendliness. Like
maybe what if they're touch deprived? Maybe they just touch deprived, and it's like episode 2 of YPO. I think I had like 15 minutes talking about how much I love people and how much I love my mom and how much that impacted the way I see things, and how sometimes it's so scary to me, like saying I love you to someone. I wouldn't break a sweat saying I love you to someone, right? Because it's like, I don't know, I grew up hearing that word all the time. Like complimenting someone, being nice to someone, it comes easily to me. But for some people, if I were to say to them, I love you, I'm going to change the trajectory of their entire life. They're not going to sleep after that. They're not going to sleep. Whereas if someone told me that they love me right now, I'd be like, oh, thank you, and then go home. Like, thanks.
So what if someone would genuinely be like to you, like, no, I love you. Like, and they're like, oh, thanks, man.
Thanks, dog. You're so real. How?
But you see, that's the thing as well, you see?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you would never know if you're being genuine or you like genuine, like, obviously genuine, it's like in general, right? Or like you maybe being like, I love you as a friend, or like, I love you, like. But that would be a bit sus if you say it like at first thingy, right? Like the first time to be like, nah, I love you. I think that would be a bit sus though. Yeah.
You know what? Every time I talk about this, I realize that maybe, just maybe I'm crazy. Maybe the problem is me. Because I feel like
the drama.
Yeah, like Cardi B, I'm the drama. Like, I don't know. I feel like, as we were talking earlier on, right? I think we are all so deprived of love. We are so deprived of love that, I don't know, our thoughts, our minds, our free time is ruled by the devil because of that. I feel like for me, right? Coming like this podcast, for example, I want this podcast to really be a labor of love, and I don't want it to be this like cold, isolated thing.
Of which I feel that, like, can I just say, can I pause you?
Yes.
Just for the
Yes.
sake. I felt like the genuine love from like the studio and like everyone, you know.
Yes.
It was like genuine, like I felt comfortable, man, you know. So
Thank you.
Of which, speaking with that concept of love, you know, it's sort of like required as well, maybe just to be there for someone, be it like going through that sense of illness or just in genuine, you know. That's also required.
Because I feel like the reason why everything is so soulless right now, I always say things are spiritually Israeli, like, you know, it's because everything is so devoid of love. Like if someone wants to talk about cancer, they're going to do it with like a monotone voice and a straight face, and then they're going to be like, cancer, yeah, cancer, guys. Cancer and stuff, guys. GBV and stuff, rape and stuff, unemployment stuff, and I know like society has become very individualistic. I know largely to blame for that is capitalism, because it's become like a dog eats dog world. Everyone is my competitor for something. Like, think about it. In content creation, those are not your collaborators. Those are your competition, because sometimes you get contacted for a campaign, they ditch you, but you see your friend doing the same campaign, the same thing, you're all graduating.
Same as these two influencers, you know, I saw with a certain campaign.
Yes.
They released a video campaigning for that product at the same time. And then in the comment section it was like, oh, which one's better? Like,
do you hear what I'm saying?
Guys,
even like when you graduate from a class and you all did medicine competition, it's like everything is so weird, because obviously we're all broke and hungry, and hunger makes us weird. Like I always say to people, sometimes it's your tummy grumbling and it's translating to how you treat people. Go get a meal. Like, you're hungry right now. Like, you are starving. This is like perpetual hunger. Like, you are unemployed. Unemployment is making you crazy. Like, you're barking at me in my comments at 6:54. Please. Like, you know. But that's also weird, because it's like people don't think they have the time for empathy in the midst of all of that.
Yeah.
They're thinking to themselves, our economy is in shambles. Why must I be nice? Our unemployment, our crime is high. Why must I be nice? And so I think being nice is the most revolutionary thing you could do, because I think it's not about the perfection of it. Because, like, for example, when I saw your email, like, someone could be like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Like, I want to get some weird influencer who has like 700K.
Of which I got turned down by a lot of campaigns. Yes, I've sort of collaborated with certain like big cancer campaigns.
Yes.
But then I was like, let me wander off a bit. Oh, and I got rejected, like down bad. But the other ones, it wasn't that successful, you know. But
even with that, do you know why they rejected you, or
with you, ne?
Yes.
I was like, this is it. It's like this. Like, I didn't like sort of being like, I didn't go into depth to be like, oh no, I got misdiagnosed. Oh no, this, oh, you know. So like, if you can't handle the surface, then might as well like turn me out. Of which I was genuine with the others. I was like sincere. I was like, this happened, that happened, that happened. And then with yours, because I saw you sent those emails around the AMs.
Yeah, because
that's the PMs.
I'm a very busy gear.
You know?
Busy gear.
So once maybe I was done studying, I had like your 1 a.m., your 2 p.m. So I'd be like, let me see what's happening on the emails. I did not like expect like any sort of response, you know. I got 3. Oh, I got 4.
Okay.
Then the other one, the one is in process, is in the works. And then the other 2, they like straight up told me like, nah. I was like, okay, cool. That's fine, you know. And I just moved along, you know. I just like moved along, you know, to be like, if I feel like vibe with the people that vibe with you, you know. Mm-hmm. That's the motto that I sort of like trying to adjust with it, because I sometimes I hate this about me. there was one thing that I have to change about me, is to stop seeking validation from people that do not even bring any influence towards my life.
Okay.
You know, so I'm starting to like vibe with those people that vibe with me. Like, if you don't vibe with me, that's still fine. You know, everyone has their reasons. Me, but
It's hunger.
Maybe
It's hunger.
but just vibe with those people.
But this is probably going to be like the last thing because our hour is up. But I just want you to know that I commend your bravery, firstly. Like, it's not easy to relive such an experience in front of all these cameras, in front of strangers, number one. But number two, that you've centered awareness and advocacy as you're moving forward, you know? Like, it's not just about whether or not you feel sorry for yourself, but the fact that you want people to learn. Because, as I said, we have an issue of underdiagnosis in the country for a lot of things, misdiagnosis, and people not knowing what to look for. Because, I don't know, and I think we should have discussed this as well, like the cost of your treatment. And obviously, I'm assuming you said Tiger Valley, right? Tygerberg. Is it the one in the city center in Cape Town? Where is it? Is it the one that's like attached to a Virgin Active?
No.
Which one is it? I don't know.
It's the one that has the UWC dentistry. That one.
I see. I'm thinking of the one that's like
at the center, right?
Yeah, and there's like you go in the hospital to go to the. It's very weird. I'm thinking of that.
But it's the one with the dentistry. It has the UWC dentistry.
Okay, cool.
Just next door.
Yeah, because I think sometimes you go to like a government clinic and they don't give you attention because there are like 17,000 people behind you. And sometimes even you...
Far East Hospital. Well, I'm a victim of that.
Yes.
Due to,
and sometimes even you as a child, you have a fever and it's an extended fever and your parents think you just have a cold and they're not interested in looking forward to. I'm glad that we could also bring that to the light. But I also just want to say, like as a last thing, that you're going to find more people that are going to resonate with your message. Like I always say, slow progress is still progress, number one. But number two, I think the people that matter the most will want to do what matters most. Because if people don't stand for anything and all that motivates them is just how it looks or how much money there is to be made, I think a lot of those people are going to look back on their lives in 20 years and realize that they've lived for nothing and that they've gathered no sense of meaning. And you will not be one of those people. You will not be one of those people.
Thanks for that.
So, anyway, guys, another Tuesday, right? I'm going to leave it there for today. We had such a beautiful chat. I loved it. One of my favorites. And I hope you guys learned at least one thing. Or even if you didn't, I'm hoping that this encourages you to learn so much more about your own personal health. You know, look after yourself, look after others, but also be interested in how other people's health could change and how you would be expected to show up for those around you. Next week, we are going to have another guest, and we're going to have another health-related episode. That's your clue. And I think when I say another guest, health-related, you know who we're bringing, right? She's a doctor and she's a baddie. See you next week, guys. Bye. Bye, guys.